Hello and welcome to the final video looking at Space Marines in Battlefleet Gothic Armada. So in this video we're going to cover off on some of the basic strategies and tactics for using a Space Marine fleet. So let's start with the ships I've chosen to have in my roster. I run two Mark IIs for my battleships. I'm only ever going to have one of them per battle, so the idea here is to just have that backup. And that pretty much is how it runs for the rest of it. I have two of each of the ones I use, a Mark 1 and Mark 3 for my cruisers, and a Mark 2 and Mark 3 for my light cruisers. So I don't run torps. Trust me, with the battleships, it was a rough choice between the Mark 1s and Mark 2s. I love bombardment cannons, but in the end I decided the range was really nice and my love of plasma macro weaponry outweighed my love of bombardment cannons. So I do have some favours. Realistically at the moment I'm just trying to build up enough renown to get the last favour, being the Chapter Master, onto my battle barge, as theoretically it should survive the longest. And that upgrade, if you haven't seen what it does, look at the previous video where I go through all that stuff. So let's get into a battle and see how these guys actually operate. Alright, cool. We got a straight up cruiser clash against Chaos. Okay, so Chaos. Well, they're going to run at range. Potentially going to have a lot of lancers, especially if the AI is smart and knows it's facing Space Marines. So what am I going to do? Well, I don't really need lancers. They don't actually run high armor, but I want my battle barge anyhow. But in terms of what I'm going to run out of my cruisers, don't really need that prow lance, so instead we're going to run with Mark 1s. And that's it. That's it for my main ships. And then I'll throw in a couple of, well, actually a Gladius, just because I like to use up as many fleet points as I can. And that's it. This is fairly standard of a Space Marine ship, especially at this level, especially if you want to be using your battleship. You are not going to get a lot of ships. So realistically, I expect the Chaos fleet to outnumber me. Now, for the most part, they'll also outrange me. My battle barge is the only thing that's going to have range that matches them. Everything else is going to have to try and get close. So, yeah, I think we'll start about here. Okay. So, this is where it gets interesting. I do often run these on auto, but I've started to not like doing that quite so much. So we're going to leave them off for now. Alright, that's useless on auto. You always have to manual that. I'll always manual the first one of those, and then I'll switch to auto. Everything else about that is fine. Right. So I've actually given this one, they've got the upgrade to the gunship, so I will be running those, and again we want to manual those. Everything else can be autoed though. Right, so Word of the Emperor, we'll turn that on auto. It's not going to be particularly useful against Chaos anyhow, but we'll do it regardless. Look, generally speaking, I've had to find I have to manual that regardless, but we'll chuck it on auto just in case. Alright, we just assign them all to a group. Generally speaking, because I don't have a lot of ships, I want them all focusing on one thing. And then we will just send them forward. Okay, so looking at my minimap / radar, looks like I've got this nice concentration of ships here, so that's where I'm going to send this off to. Now look, everything's going to outpace my slow ass battle barge here, so it's going to end up behind, but it runs long range weaponry, so it's not so bad. Now, while we're waiting for the engagement to happen, you'll see that when you give things a master of whatever, you actually get a lovely bit of addition to it. So there's what it looks like with it all on there. Some nice gold trimming, some skulls, verse, all the way over here, the other one. Well, actually this one has Master of the Forge on it by the looks of it. But yeah, you'll see here we get the nice tech symbol as opposed to that. Okay. Essentially, I want their shields non-existent so I can be getting off my lightning strikes, because I doubt very much I'm going to be having it happen where I get close enough. But I might get lucky. Alrighty. Well, that's just annoying. And pretty much what you expect from Chaos.
Astartes vessel ready. Only in death does duty end. Ready for battle. Standard speed engaged.
They like to use running silent a lot. This is where things get interesting with these on the battlefield. I essentially have to choose where I want it going. I'm going to go that way with that. I think that one will actually be fine running by itself, and yeah. Let's just run this through. Yeah, unfortunately it's out of range at the moment. Yeah, that's a Slanesh upgrade. It shut down the orders I was running on those ones. They got two of them. Guys, it's going to be annoying. I'm not going to get my special orders happening as much as I would like. Let me guess, another Slanesh upgrade. I really hate Slanesh upgrade. It seems to last forever when you're facing off against it too, I can tell you. And still just outside the range. There we go. And we just saw Belt Armor's usefulness. going to be outside the range, but he's not.
Space Marines ready.
That's going to be annoying.
Show us the enemy.
He's coming along fine.
Astartes vessel ready. Beginning tactical assessment. Setting priority target.
There we go, we're already running one of them.
Show us the enemy.
Fuck it, he can run. I want that thing gone.
Astartes vessel ready. Suspending tactical.
Alrighty. See there, I had a lot of Thunderhawks hit it, and it's now got 2 fires on board. And that's it, it's trapped. The AI is pretty useless around these things. It generally won't try and move around them, and it will tend to get stuck on them fairly quickly and easily. Out of range. Of course, once he's actually things. There we go.
Space Marines ready.
There's nothing I'm doing about that, unfortunately. And you can see these bombardment cannons, when they're hitting, they're doing a lot of damage.
Targeting protocols.
Yeah. So they just destroyed him.
Assessment.
Now, I could try running this guy, but at this point he's likely to just get blown up anyhow. This guy, on the other hand, I will get off these, do that, and then I will might run him. Yeah, I will actually.
Enemy in sight.
Okay.
We are leaving the battlefield.
This is fine. This puppy here does actually put out a lot of damage. That's him gone. Right. Nope. Alright, so this is where we're going to run this. It's not going to have a choice but to come back inside a range, and now it is pretty much screwed. That one's going to be a different matter, but we should hopefully be able to do this one without too much issue. Well, that's interesting. Usually they get all the way in there before they'll stop. They may actually, yeah, cancel it. There we go, now he has got all the way in there. Okay. Yeah, that thing had just been annoying me for too long. Besides, it's going to take me a while to probably get in range of this thing. I've still got 7 seconds left before I can do another micro warp jump, which I am going to need to do. Especially I've got 40 seconds left on that. I was wondering what had happened to you. Right, so he's just used it straight off the bat. Now it's not too bad for me, because they should come back online about when I actually want to use them. Hopefully. There we go. Bit out of range, but that's fine. And there you can see the reason why I love plasma macro weaponry. His shields pretty much just melted from one volley from them. So he's going to be sitting there for quite a while trying to chip through my armor. Now saying that, he does have a lot of those, which is an issue. As I've lost a decent amount of hull, so he is going to get a decent number of them through. But we should be able to take him out without too much issue. Oh, and he gets away just before my Thunderhawks get there. That's fine. Still means I win. So as you can see, the battleships are very powerful. But you also saw the weakness. A lot of concentrated fire. And now, admittedly, it was like 2 battle cruisers and a cruiser, a couple of escort ships. Did more or less take out my 2 cruisers. They are relatively low health. And Chaos does have a decent number of lancers, so it was probably going to happen. I expected it going in there. I was hoping to not lose one, but I at least got one of them out of there. But you really got to try and balance that. Hang around long enough to do enough damage to the enemy to kill them, and then doing that. But as you saw, the battle barge there was more than capable of taking on two light cruisers, plus it had support like escort ships harassing it the entire game, which is fairly standard. This is why I've given it the upgrades I have. Sorry, I should say the skills in this case, although the upgrades as well. So as you saw, the reason why I like plasma macro weaponry, the damage a bombardment cannon can do, and also just the amount of damage that a Space Marine fleet gets from its assault actions. So you saw there a lot of the time because I was getting so many assault actions happening on the ships, they were losing weapons, they were losing other important stuff, multiple fires, just very useful stuff in general. Right, so that's a basic look at Space Marine strategy and tactics. I hope you found it informative. And join us again when I will look at the final race for Battlefleet Gothic Armada, the newest race, and that is Tau.